Hello, Doomslayers, and welcome back to Tradespotting. We're going to be talking about the upcoming volatility. I scheduled this video this morning with the title, and then the price action. Wow, it just went up the wazoo volatility. So we'll check that out and look at some other TA. Here's the charts. Opening up on the 2-day with the historical volatility percentile here on the bottom. And it looks as though putting in a similar signal to that which we did back in September 2017 before the crazy price action really evolved on GameStop. That is to say that it hasn't been since then, all the way back then, that we saw a similar signal. And the signal is given off by historical price action. So a period of a downtrend, right? That's not here nor there. It's the restricted volatility here and how different that was from its previous behavior. And you're seeing something similar now with the, relatively restricted volatility to its previous behavior. And that's where you're getting this signature given from here on the 2-day time frame. That's the way it is with the closes. So a serious degree of volatility upcoming. That was on the cards. Drop down in daily time frame. HVP. You can see this building up here. It's been doing it for a while since this leg of the trend. Something's coming big. You're already seeing bits of it, but that's only just managing to today make it back up to the continuation of the trend it's already been in that it's capturing its own moving average. It's still building and building up here. That's on the daily time frame, and if you look at it on the 4-hour, you can see that that's started again right at the end of this trend. That's where the volatility started to pick up on this move down, and subsequently price action is not yet managed to actually explode the ways that it did before when it got to this level of contraction on the 4-hour. You can see you built up. Sure, you had that, had this here. Price action's built up to something, come back down again, and then that was your huge move, right? And we talked about similar things. Like at the time, this was Bing Bong, right? Back here, this was Bing Bong. It's where 10 of the 20,000 people who subscribed came in at from that late night video. And then this is similar deal, right? Very much so on the 4-hour, but you're also getting something on the daily and on the 2-day. This is ahead of earnings on Thursday. This Thursday, St. Paddy's Day, which is an important sentimental day for Ryan Cohen, who's the chairman of GameStop, and he scheduled it to be on that day. Tradespotting called it, as he does with price action for a year now, whoop-de-doop-de. And you'll get a lot of analysts telling you what they expect to happen and price action, its reaction to that. Most people now will just go on what's happened on the 3 previous earning dates, but in the lead up to them, price increased. And as you'll notice, there's a distinct difference this time with price action going down in lead up to earnings. And also you'll know that it's the Q4 covers Black Friday and the Christmas period. You'll know that GameStop operating costs last year went up 30%, and that was in order to increase their inventory so that they would be able to overcome supply chain issues that happen at that time of year, and they've managed to do that very well, it seems. And by all accounts, their activity has been very positive in store. You'll probably be aware by now that about 50% of GameStop's revenue comes from hardware. So we've gone through now a Christmas season where GameStop have had full inventory, and all major console producers have put out a new machine, from Sony to Microsoft to Nintendo. All of them have put out new machines, and we've gone through a Christmas period. So that's significant with regards to fundamental analysis. Should you care about that kind of thing? You might also, like myself, have some contacts in the industry who trade this thing, who'll have their own take on the fundamental analysis, or you'll have alternatively had some quality content, hopefully provided to you via Rocky Outcrop or somebody who's giving you an idea of how this all works. And you'll have a perspective on what you anticipate happening. The newsletters would tell you that GameStop's going to have earnings per share return around 188 loss, like trying to cut in half the loss from the previous year. And they'll sell you that's a bad thing. Just as they sold you that the board not signifying their intentions with regards to tactics, despite being quite broad on the overall strategy. People would criticise Ryan Cohn for that or misunderstand my take on it often. I've noticed that too, but hey, whatever. So over the next while, we're looking to see how GameStop performs when it comes to earnings. It won't be taking investors' calls, I don't expect, and I'll be streaming it live here on Thursday on the show, so if you want to tune in, please do. Ahead of that, here's some interesting signals on the chart there with regards to volatility. There are other ways of measuring volatility. Shout out to Chris from Rocky's Trading Group in the Rocky's Discord. You should definitely be signed up there if you're serious about improving your trading or trading for a living. And he's on there doing things, his own take on Bollinger Bands and adding a volatility metric to that, which is particularly useful to people who trade things like options. Now, as you can see here on the 2-day time frame and on the weekly time frame, price action is lower than it was on previous moves. On the weekly, you now have pushed lower on the RSI, so have defeated that idea of potentially bullish divergence with a lower low on price action and a higher low on the oscillator. Now you're in danger of putting in a lower low on price action or a higher low should price action retrace back up the way, say it did go up, and you'd put in this lower low on the RSI. That, in the context of a downtrend, that would be hidden continuation, right? Hidden bearish divergence, and you'd expect continuation. So price action would then be going down again, right, to 57, 55 bucks, even with positive earnings. So this is something you have to pay attention to, regardless of what the DD or any particular subreddit might tell you, or some, it's good to pay attention to the technicals because they'll help you manage your expectations, if nothing else. If you can't yourself manage your money in your pocket. Ow, it's so hot. Right, so here's your 200 period moving average on the weekly time frame. You've got to bear that in mind now. Price action has slipped back into the bearish control zone if it doesn't turn around here. If it does, price action goes up and the RSI doesn't go back up before it, you don't put in a low close, then it could be bearish and you could have that hanging over price action, which wouldn't lead to very good lows, and you'd be looking for a reversal of the trend at that point. It wouldn't inspire confidence across the market. I can tell you that's because it's the mass psychology that represents rather than any reaction to the technical artifact. So here, or entity, whatever. So here we have this on the 2-day, and you can see it's in fact hugely bullishly divergent still, right? Still hugely bullishly divergent here, which is very positive if the trend does really turn around. And on the weekly time frame, it's tough to say that there is a significant trend, right? It's tough to define this as a downtrend because here's a low and subsequently here's a high. Here's what the next low is, like a higher low, no matter where you put it, maybe here, and then a higher. Like, it's very difficult to draw this as a downtrend when you're above one of the lows that you would need to constitute said downtrend, but with the need for lower highs and lower lows and so on. And so it's very difficult to really define this. So in that sense, maybe you're not actually worried. I wouldn't say that it's something to pay too much attention to when you've got this picture here on the 2-day with this potential bullish divergence that the clip got shared on Superstomp there over the weekend, which is great to see. So yes, you've got a higher low on your oscillator, and that speaks to perhaps a weakening and a deceleration in the trend, which you'd need to see in momentum because the car slows down before it goes around a corner, right? That's the way that works. So price action looks like it has a lot of potential here onto the daily time frame. This is where your RSI comes from, right? The close. That's how this indicator is calculated. If you don't know, take the course. New content up on the course, by the way. Assessments for the RSI stuff and loads of information about divergence. It's very, very interesting there. And you can see here price action coming back down, higher low on the oscillator, lower low on price action. That's still interesting. Looking left, you can see there was previously no reason to be suspecting a turnaround at this area. Never managed to capture the 50 simple on the daily yet. If we take this Fibonacci down to our most recent low from our high of the trend, you can see that to capture the 236 now, you'd need to come in only hitting around $88. That's not hard. And then to get to the golden pocket, then it's only 107. And that could be look like a very positive reaction. But there's only hitting the 50 simple. It's still a continuation downtrend. It's not significantly breaking anything. I'd like to see at least above the 886, and that means putting in daily opens, closes, opens at minimum above 122 to 125. That's what you really look for and are hoping for at the moment to see any long-term significant trend change, right? So in here, brutal candles, breaking through support levels here where you previously put in a candle close, body close, body close. The extension on this might have felt difficult to some people, but we talked about all those levels. Oh my jeepers McBoobsers. Did it get... Not yet, but a little bit. 69, 69. 69, 69. That would be, as Batman Majama said earlier, the perfect price for the perfect stonk. So anyway, right, you've not got bullish divergence here on this leg of the trend on the 4-hour time frame. That's negative. That's very negative. You can see that it's failing here. It's rolling over and failing. Looking left to see where was the previous low that was on this time frame was at 87, 88. You've broken that, and below you're looking down at $37, and that's a 4-hour time frame testing an area of price action which has had support and resistance. This horizontal in here around 38. So that's what you're there on the 4-hour looking for. On the daily time frame, you can see you're closed below here at 84. Not fabulous. It's also had a test from both sides, and then within that there's like some crossovers here between 64 and 69, right? So somewhere in there is another level. How accurate you are on the daily, I'm not sure, right? So that's what it looks like. Hourly time frame, you see that's extreme distances below these levels. There's obviously 55 and other 62's got something in it as well, but that's one thing you'd look to with regards to the horizontals. You might also be thinking about this in terms of an extension. We talked about this move and where it might go to with a retracement against this trend in the 1618, and that also comes in at around 69, 73. Where is it? 67 to 6, whatever it is, right? Just call it 69. Give or take $1 either side of 69. That's where you'll be looking at now in terms of like Cousin Oliver. Right, you know, this is it. Do your duty. Okay, so, geez. Right, so congratulations if you've managed to maintain your sense of humor throughout all this difficult price action here. Isn't it dead interesting? I think so. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at all those sort of things. If we got down to the 30 minutes, you're going to expect to see more of the same. Yep, extremely into the oversold territory. Price action back up, hitting this one moving average. So that's interesting. If you got anything on the MACD, this area, 30-minute time frame, nothing positive to speak to. You had a sell signal that we talked about, and then since then continuation even beyond your horizontal levels of support, despite not having any divergence. Speaking about oopsie doopsie, well, you came back up here. There's degree actually. There was hidden bearish divergence between these two moves. Hidden bearish divergence at this peak, catching the 50 simple. I actually got the sell signal that we spoke about on the MACD. That's rough. Rough, so it is. But here we are, down at these areas, where if it's going to turn around, there's a little bit more. Bing, nice buy. Don't get it, you've got a Fibonacci and a horizontal down there. Oh my goodness, Tradespotting. Oh my goodness. So what else has everybody else been trading? Look at some of these terrible moves against the good guys. Quite a lot of them predictable, some of them a bit brutal. Tree, interesting that. That was a very, very, very tight loss, stop loss in there, and you just got that one. Destroyed. And then down a further 5%. AMC at 13, spot 56 on the close, 46 post market. You've come right down to Tradespotting's line here on 4 hour time frame. That's previous wick low. Is this a double bottom? If you look between these two areas, you can see that price action is lower, but the RSI itself is not as low. 4 hour time frame, bullish divergence, right? Interesting that. You can see and confirm it here. There's the body closes, body closes, and you can take it to the wicks if you want, still lower. Well, this is upward sloping, right? There's a divergence for you. It's bullish divergence in the context of the downtrend. At the same time, you've not got a MACD speaking to anything in particular interesting on the 4 hour. There is a touch of that divergence on this leg of the trend, with the histogram not being as low as it was previously when you put in a higher low on price action. But you don't have the same thing on the RSI, and on one time frame, I wouldn't be going on just MACD this instance, right? Not really. I'd look for something greater, but that is interesting. It's something to be said positive for the trend. Hello, Rich. Hello, Deacon. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Everybody now. Right, so back to the Tradespotting show. No, that was part of it. So AMC, 4 hour, we'll start up back on the weekly time frame as we did with GME, and you can see that here you still have a higher low. Oops, a daisy. Still have a higher low here on the RSI, where price is lower and touching these horizontals. This is a very clean chart here, with the horizontals performing fantastically for us despite the gaps between them. All working out as Tradespotting suggested. So you get your body closing around this level, you're matching the downward slope and try. You've got upward slope and divergence here. That's positive to be seen there, and also you've got a similar picture on the MACD. That's great on the weekly and 2 day time frame. You're not as dramatic, but the same picture, and you've got a degree of positive momentum still left on the histogram from this recent push up on the daily time frame. You've still got this flash, of course, down here at 1088. That's towards the 1618 extension, and where price will go if it drops back down again. If GME comes down, can't see this shooting up the other direction. And I suspect also, right, like that tomorrow at open, perhaps this has got a little bit of negativity left on the table here, with the RSI here on the daily time frame slipping into the bearish control zone, having previously tested the top side of it and failed at its own moving average, while it so miserably failed to get above its previous horizontal, and then looking right the 236 at that stage of the trend, which now Tradespotting, my old buddy, my old pal, 236 comes in at your previous horizontal level of resistance. Now resistance was support 1450 and change, so need to get above 1450 and change. If you do, positive top side, you're only looking at 1740 at the minute, and above there your next horizontal's up at around 19, which is all well and good, and will get you back above some extension levels here. But I'd suggest at that stage you need to come back and test things, and you wouldn't have broken the $20 level, which is where you previously found resistance before the leg trend continued with previous trend in motion again to the downside. So if something spectacular happens, then great. You'll get back above 17 and you'll hit all the way up at 20, then go on to 27, because there's the big move. And the 1618 extension of this Fibonacci, if you defeat that trend, right, you need an 886 up at $20, which I'm suggest before you get there, you'd have a retest of something. Especially going there, right? And there's an old saying in Ireland, someone pulls over and asks you for directions, and they tell you wherever it is they're going. You say, oh, you're good, you don't want to be going there from here. So at 1088, right? That's looking like a buy. The extension, though, just beyond at 1040, you'd have to pay a lot of attention to that. have to pay a lot of attention to that. Looks like that might be where things are going if it comes back down. Volatility will likely match GME on this one. On this one, me old muckers, me old buddies, me old pals, me old mucker bugger pals, beduggers. Wait, bear with me. Oh, what? How possible? How even possible? How even possible? This is what happens when you get a splushing, too big of a splushing. I had a headache since Friday. Where are you, boy? Well, maybe he's gone for a walk or something. Or I took him for a walk. Banana, yeah. He's not here, yeah. He's away for a walk, yeah. So there's new content up on the course, right? With convergence, divergence, all this stuff, right? Check it out. And the homework is there, published. Muchas gracias, Ben. Homework's published for RSI assessment. And yes, it's fantastic. You should definitely get on that. Get on it. Chop, 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 chop. It's available. Get on it. Uh-oh, is Jamie pinned to the wall? Am I? Is that what's happened to me? Num. Jamie, no, he's not. He's not pinned to the wall. Come on, Jamie. There he is. See, he's just over there. He's dancing, and I'm not even moving. I've not even. See, he's excited. Right, it's the volatility, incoming volatility. Sugar banana, has lost. She's on a walk. Where is she? Where is she? She's turned the wains against me too. Where is she? Where would I have taken banana? Yeah, this is absurd. What was I doing on splashing? No one will know because YouTube don't let anyone know. What did you lose? There's one banana. Yeah, yes, banana. I don't know how I did this. Can't have gone far. Because there's not far to go. So that's it, right? The banana has left me and taken my mojo. And I was just about to say we're going to smoke this banana or what, and it looks like it's the kippers, not the bananas. So we shall see you tomorrow for the day. That is what day? 15th, and then obviously Thursday, St. Paddy's Day. So you make sure you've got your hat on. No, Coco's not here. Banana Yaya's not here. You took him to the bathroom. Did I, Leroy? What I would have done that? I'm smoking jelly beans. Nice. Coco has conquered banana. Yeah. There might be something. They might have both gone off together. To Gretna Green, famous place here. Check it out on the internet. So yes, this is what it looks like it's coming up right on, significant time frames as bullish divergence. On others, it suggests continuation. You're going to need to put in something important here, like a strong reaction, potentially a reversal. You're going to be needing to convince people that's possible to even get the reaction in the first instance. So we're going to need to see some of that. We have Thursday coming up. That's interesting. Oh, sugar, I should have done a buddy update. Well, we'll do that as well. We'll get all the stuff covered on the live stream Thursday. We'll be on for quite a while, so we will. So check out the course. The link's in the description. That's, you'll be able to find that, hopefully. And yeah, and from there, you'll progress adequately, I assume. Thank you very much. And I shall see you on... What day? What day? Tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? It's every day, silly. It's every day, silly. Where else would he be? What else would he do? What were you talking about? It would better be